Welcome back to Red Glasses Talks. The focus has been the last few weeks, be priority driven. And underneath that, we've talked about the focus on the father, how to be an effective father. And we've said the last few weeks there are 5 keys to be an effective father. So all I want to do today is to give you a review of those and then close it up. So number 1 key, dads that have their priorities together. That makes an effective father. Key number two, dads that have their attitudes right. Number 3, dads that communicate their love. Key number 4, dads that affirm their children in every way. And finally, number 5, dads that are spiritually dependent. So the scripture tells us there's a lot of reward for a father who really gets after it and wants to honor the father and to do an honorable job with their children. It tells us in Proverbs chapter number 23, verse 24, the father of godly children has cause for joy. What a pleasure to have children who are wise. So I want you to be reminded, Dad, that you are the most powerful person in the world in your child's life, the most important person. So I want to close with this, and hopefully it will touch your heart. When Mike was 3, he wanted a sandbox, and his father said, well, there goes the yard. We'll have kids over here day and night, and they'll throw sand into the flower beds, and cats will make a mess in it, and it'll kill the grass for sure. Mike's mom said, it'll come back. When Mike was 5, he wanted a jungle gym set with swings that would take his breath away and bars to take him to the summit. And his father said, good grief, I've seen those things in backyards. And do you know what they look like? Mud holes in a pasture. Kids digging their gym shoes in the ground, it'll kill the grass. Mike's mom said, it'll come back. Between breaths, when Daddy was blowing up the plastic swimming pool, he warned, you know what they're going to do to this place? They're going to condemn it and use it for a missile site. I hope you know what you're doing. They'll track water in everywhere. You'll have a million water fights, and you won't be able to take out the garbage without stepping in mud up to your neck. And when we take this down, we'll have the only brown lawn on the block. And Mom said, it'll come back. Well, when Mike was 12, he volunteered his yard for a camp out. They hoisted the tents and drove in the spikes. His father stood at the window and observed. Why don't I just put the grass seed out in the cereal bowls for the birds and save myself the trouble of spreading it around? You know for a fact that those tents and all those big feet are going to trample down every single blade of grass, don't you? Don't you know that? Don't bother to answer. He said, I know, the grass will grow back. Well, the basketball hoop on the side of the garage attracted more crowds than the Winter Olympics. And a small patch of lawn that started out with a barren spot the size of a garbage can lid soon grew to encompass the entire side yard. Just when it looked like the new seed might take root, winter came and the sled runners beat it into the ridges, and Mike's father shook his head and said, I never asked for much in this life, only a patch of green grass. And his wife smiled and said, it'll come back. Well, the lawn this fall was beautiful. It was green and alive and rolled out like a sponge carpet along the drive where Jim's shoes had trod, along the garage where bicycles used to fall, and around the flower beds where little boys used to dig with iced tea spoons. But Mike's father never saw it. He anxiously looked beyond the yard and asked with a catch in his voice, he will come back, won't he? He will come back. You think about that.